dropping by in the afternoon or late day. What time is it? Oh, wow, late day. Not really afternoon, but dropping by to say hi, see how everyone's doing. I want to wish you a wonderful Halloween for those of you who do celebrate the ghost and the goblins. It's not my favorite holiday, but for those of you who do celebrate that, have a great time and be safe. Also, be safe for those children out there. There's some cuckoos, so don't let your kids run wild. Make sure you check those candies, open them up, make sure that, well, don't accept anything that's not, some people try to bake goods, some people try to wrap little, make their own little candy, don't accept none of that. All that goes in the trash. Everything has to be signed, sealed, delivered when it comes to candies. But make sure that you are there with your youngsters when they're doing the trick or treating. So, again, have a wonderful Halloween. I don't know. I remember when I was little, we used to have pillowcases full of candy. We would go around the hood. We would do our collection from house to house to house to house and get a whole pillowcase full, bring that home, empty it out, and go back and fill it up again. It was fun times. We didn't have to worry about as much of all this craziness out here. And not only did we enjoy going through the candies and picking out the ones that wasn't right, but our parents did too, and they was eating up our candy too. So y'all stop eating them kids' candy, okay? So, anyway, thanks for those who tuned in yesterday on a Sunday when we do our Grown Folk Table Talk. Have some great conversations, some great topics. The panel also sprinkles out some things that's on their mind that they may want to talk about as well. And if you ever want to be a part of that, hit me up. I'll make sure you get the Zoom link, or you can just tune in on the live on YouTube and just kind of chill and watch, kick back, make comments, like, share, subscribe. Also, you could also I share the show on other platforms, so you can also take a peek on other social media sites too as well that you're a part of. So anyway, yeah, we have big fun. Thanks to those who were there yesterday. Thank you. You guys are really inspirational in helping me with my healing process. Just to update, I'm doing a little better. Not 100% back right now. I may be, I don't know, 75% still. I'm still kind of waddling and having issues. Actually, during the show yesterday, I started kind of having a little tummy discomfort, and but it passed. But I'm trying to cut down the medications as much as they had me taking them like 3 4 hours every 3 4 hours. It helped relax the diaphragm and the esophagus and all that stuff. However, it makes me really loopy, makes me groggy, makes me sleepy, and I don't want to just sleep my days away, even though I need to get the rest. I understand that, but I also want to walk downstairs and be able to get me something to eat too, at least some soup, because they're making me not have the meat right now. Y'all know what? I did a meatless May a couple of years ago where I had a trainer, and we did a thing where we did no meat for the month of May, and it was really, really inspiring. I never thought I could go without having, even though I'm not a big meat eater, I'm not a steak and type of thing and all that. I like steaks, but I don't eat that kind of stuff often, and pork and stuff like that. But I do like my chicken and my fish and my seafoods. But to go the whole month without meat was very challenging because we're so used to that complementing our meal. We're used to having, you know, that meat, some kind of meat, something to go with it to balance it. And so I had to get real creative in trying to find other things to substitute. I mean, I did, man, the meat substitutions. I did Man, I tried a lot of stuff, you guys. I'm not, I can't even think of them as far as their names are concerned, but I went to Trader Joe's and I got a lot of stuff that didn't include meat or meatless meatballs, and they got the other, the protein stuff in there, but it wasn't meat. Tofu, I had never really got into tofu, tried that, but yeah, so it was interesting because those things were actually pretty good. It really was. It was tasty. It gave you that feel of substance, that meat taste, but it wasn't really meat. It was lighter and not as hard on your digestive system. So it can be done. For whatever reason now, it's been like a month for me. I've had liquids the first week. I've had since then um, soft foods, and it has been a month now. And the soft foods is cool, but I'm like wanting to really chew on something. I want my chicken. I was in the store and I went to the doggone meat department getting ready to buy me some chicken wings so I can go home and fry them. And I had to remember, you can't do that. You can't do that right now, girl. So I'm missing some meat, you guys. I'm missing my seafood. I'm missing my shrimps and lobsters and all that kind of stuff. But I'm hoping that this too shall pass. So Thanksgiving may be a little less exciting for me this year, but I can enjoy the soft foods. So anyway, with that being said, I wanted to what was that I had on my mind, you guys? I had wrote it down briefly with oh, there we go. I had a thought on top of my head while I was sitting here just enjoying the breeze and everything of the afternoon before I try to run home and give out the handful of candies that I got, because I did get some. Um, Not many kids come around, but you do get some. You do get the parents that's walking the little ones, so you want to have a few little treats to give those that do come through. But I had a thought about the opposite sex friendships, and what made me think of that is because I know a few people who have some very very good friendships with those who are the opposite sex of them, and they've been friends for a very long time, and nothing is going to come in the way of that or stop that. Now, they have been in relationships where their new love interests have questioned what's up with that. You got to be something else going on. That person is quite attractive, they're clingy, they're always calling you, you guys talk about personal things. What's up with this friendship? And and sometimes there is room for concern because someone could have an underlining um, ulterior motive. They could be more attracted to the person than probably they have confessed it. Maybe they have decided to not go there and cross the line because it could mess up the friendship. So they've decided, no, let's just keep this right here. But I'm, man, you sexy, I'm feeling you like that, but you gonna be my dog for life. And so another woman can kind of senses that, and just like a man senses that, you can kind of tell when another man has a interest in your woman outside of just being friends, and the same with women. So I don't know, there is situations where you do have um they come up with this made up story of they're these best of friends, but back in the day they used to do the clap and all kinds of stuff, and for whatever reason it fell off and they're just cool. Now, some will hide the fact that that actually happened, and they just want to hold on for some reason, security blanket history, whatever. They want to hold on to it, and that person have maybe maybe even state it. If you come to a single point in your life again, I'm going to come at you. And they do kind of see, they hold on to the hope of that possibly happening. In the meanwhile, you're keeping them as a friend, and you've let your new love interest know that this is my friend. Perhaps they've even been introduced. They even have sat down and talked. You guys may have done things together, went places together, ate dinner together, all kinds of stuff, but you're making it clear that it's just a friendship. But deep down inside, you know that it's possibilities that it could go into something more. So, what do you say about these opposite sex friends? When you come to a point and you are really, really serious and focused into someone, and you may be contemplating marriage or spending the rest of, well, and spending the rest of your life with them, do you want them to have these close friends of the opposite sex? And what about those friends that they know you and they know who you're seeing, but in a circle, you're all kind of cool, and they know that the person is seeing you and into you, or desire to really get to know you on a different level, but they still trying to push up and get with them and go out on dates with them, and you know, reaching out to them, on the talk all the time, all that. They're doing that. Now, there's a man code, there's a woman code. There's certain things you just don't do and cross. If it's somebody that you know that is trying to get at somebody that you know, then you need to fall back, really, though. You need to respectfully fall back, and if that situation don't work, or if that person stops wanting to pursue that person for whatever reason, and you feel that, let me just, but usually speaking, I know, like with me personally, if it's one of my friends and they have someone that's into them that I know that has tried to get at me, or vice versa, or whatever, or is trying, I can't. Mm-mm. It's a line. It's a woman code. You just don't cross certain lines. And I had someone one time say, "Well, I ran into a friend, and I hadn't seen them in I don't know how many years, and we went out on a few dates, and we were kicking it, and the conversation came up that they had been with somebody that I knew, and it just kind of fell in the lap of the conversation, and it was like, oh wow, and not someone that they knew, but somebody that they know. And so it was one of those things where they was really liking this person, and they had went on a few dates, and the person that they know that this person used to kick it with, it had been a long time ago when they were young. I mean, I think it's like 25 years or so ago. And so they didn't really see anything wrong with that, based on the fact that this person had so many years that had went by, nothing really, they didn't have any kids together, they never married, they just kind of kicked it a little bit or whatever. They didn't see anything wrong with that. I don't know how you guys feel. I don't know. I think it would have made me feel some kind of way, just knowing that there was a connection with a friend of mine that I'm cool with, and it just coincidentally happened that me and you hooked up, and you've been with my friend. I think it would make me feel really some kind of way. But everyone is different, and it just depends on the circumstances behind all that. But what about, you're with this person, you're gigging, you're good, things is going great, you have a lot of love and respect for them, it's all fine, but they got this opposite sex bugaboo friend that they claim to be like besties with. So this person calls when they want to. This person will come on by, the house and visit and kick it with you guys, have a drink or two. You may play cards, dominoes. This person is actually single. Perhaps if they were in a relationship with somebody, it wouldn't sting as hard, because then they can come over sometime with their dude or with their girl, and it could be a double datey thingy. But they're coming over in the fray a lot because you guys are on a level of being besties, so they feel as though they can do the visitations and the kicking it with you whenever because you're so tight. But also you have now this other situation to consider, because before you were, by yourself. You were single and you didn't have to answer to nobody. You didn't have to explain nothing to nobody. And it was just a different kind of vibe. But now that you have a woman or a dude in your corner with you, you have to explain some things. You have to, sometimes you feel some kind of way because you don't want them to feel as though it's something going on or could be or whatever. So you're over trying to, I guess, make it appear that everything is cool. You may be openly affectionate with your boo in front of them. You may be overly verbally expressive. I love you, boo. That kind of thing. You don't normally do that. It's different when you do that stuff and when you're overly affectionate or overly verbally affectionate as well. If that's the norm, then it wouldn't stand out. But if that's not the norm and you seem to be doing this more when that person is around, it could be a cover up. It could appear to be a cover up where the person is not going to feel as though it's genuine. Because when that person is not around, you hardly ever say, I love you. You hardly ever say, do a little affectionate touches and hugs. And, so you got to look at how it's making the other person feel about the situation. Now, back to, is it cool? Opposite sex friends. You are together with someone. Is it cool to have the opposite sex friends but have certain limitations on um, time spent, the time spent now with the person, or them just being able to come through, or you guys talking on the phone all the time, like when they're in the middle of whatever their dilemmas is. It could be something with work, family, friends, whatever. They call you. You're their bestie. You're their go-to. They call you. Your woman or your dude is sitting up there like, okay. Didn't you tell them you was busy? Well, yeah, but they gotta see. But didn't they know you were busy? You were in the middle of something with me, right? So can't you get back with them? Call them back later or something like that? Is somebody dying? Is somebody on fire? Did somebody get hurt? Is somebody in the ICU? What's going on? Well, no, they just real depressed. They covering the phone. They got something going on. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it. And you up there like, okay. So you have to really come off in a way that doesn't appear to be that you're putting that bestie of the opposite sex ahead of who you're with. Because who you're with should be your priority and your focus. That's your family now. Okay? That's part of your family. And your friends, yes. We all have friends. We've all had friends. We have history. I have some cool male friends. And they're going to probably be my male friends for life. And we're just cool like that. It ain't no sleeping together. It ain't no none of that. We just cool. So, I mean, if I got into something really serious that was going in a level of something permanent, definitely I'm going to make my love interest aware of this friend. And I'm not going to be sneaking doing things. I'm not going to be sneaking talking to them. I'm not going to be sneaking. I may not hold every conversation in front of him, with them, but um for them to reach out to me as a friend and stuff like that, I don't see where that would be a problem as long as I'm not disrespecting what I have going with my new love. As long as I'm not putting anything ahead of in front of my new love. Because some people will also look at the fact that when you have good friends, genuine good friends, besties, people that's going to be with you through trial and ever for the rest of your life. That's irreplaceable. You can't replace that. You can't lock that up in a box just because you decide to get into this relationship and the person you're with is controlling or have issues with you being friends with somebody of the opposite sex. So you end up kicking your friend to the curb. Stop calling them, stop going around doing things with them, stop doing that because you're trying to bring about the peace in your with your union and in your home. And then, lo and behold, if something happens where you and that person don't make it, you break up, it didn't work out for whatever reason. And then you trying to reach back out to that bestie, to that friend, and explain and apologize and all that. But there is a bridge that you have put in the midst of you guys, and the bond is not as solid as it was because A, you abandoned them. B, they're not going to trust the genuineness of your love and friendship anymore. And they'll feel as though the next relationship, because it'll be the next that you get into, you're going to be doing the same kind of stuff. So sometimes you just end up really messing up and ruining a good friendship. So what we have to remember and be mindful of is the fact that everyone that you encounter, that you end up, God brings to you to be your balance mate, your help mate, your partner, even your lifelong love, is someone, especially the older you get, there's someone who had a life before you, a lot of life. They've had situations, encounterments, they've had attachments, they've developed really wonderful friendships, they developed wisdom based on things that didn't quite work out right. They developed a lot of wisdom about themselves, about life, about what they need, what they want, what they desire. They've developed all this during this tenure of time. So therefore, you come along, perhaps they're in their 40s, 50s, sometimes 60s, and you come along in their lives and you want to just disrupt all the connections that they have because you're feeling some kind of way about this opposite sex friend that they seem to have this real closeness with. Maybe you have some insecurities about that. Maybe you are jealous with the connection that they have with someone else and you really want that kind of connection with your mate yourself. However, your mate may have that kind of connection with you. It's just a different kind of connection with a friend. Just like you have a different kind of connection and love for your children, for your family, than you do your wife or your husband. It's a difference in how um, the love and the balance is. So, you know, it's a personal thing that you need to come to grips with and not allow someone to control who you're friends with, you know, who you go out with, who you hang with, who you talk to on the phone, and all that. Some are very controlling about that. They'll tell you straight up, I don't want no man calling you, period. Now, they don't pay your phone bill, they don't do none of that. You probably help them pay their phone bill, quiet as kept. But anyway, they don't pay your phone bill, but they want to dictate who calls you. And like I said, everything should be done in a respectful way. No, you shouldn't have an opposite sex friend that sits up and call at 2 in the morning, midnight, 11 p.m., 3 in the morning, just because they going through a situation and they need somebody to talk to, and they know you laying right there next to boo boo, or even if you're not, it's disrespectful because you could have been. So it's different if they had went by ambulance and they're in the ICU, the emergency department. They were in a bad accident, and perhaps their friend or family member or they called to let it be known that they're in the hospital. That's considered an emergency situation. Perhaps you may, or they may have gotten arrested, and maybe they get this one call and they don't have any family that's going to answer that call or that's even around, and they think of you. They need you to contact whoever. I mean, I don't know. Whatever the situation is, those are somewhat emergency situations. But just because you're going through something, you broke up with somebody, you're depressed, you're battling with this or that, the job, whatever the situation is, no, you don't need to be calling that friend during hours that it will cause an eyebrows to raise with the person that you're now building a relationship, trust, and commitment with. Okay? Wait until it's respectful. And there shouldn't be any secrets kept. There shouldn't be any hush hush secretive ways that you communicate, or you went and met this friend somewhere because of this situation, and then you missed a dinner date with your boo because you was over here with that friend. No, that means that you made that friend a priority. Those type of things. You have to do things respectfully, but in order to do that, you have to be very, very open with communication, and you cannot be trying to do things behind one another's back. But the control thing, the thing about trying to, look into your mate's phone and seeing who's calling them, what the text is saying, why this person is calling you more than that person, what's going on, that, no, because what's in the dark is going to come to light. If it's something that's just downright not respectful, or that's being hush, or that's being sneaky about doing, it's going to come out sooner or later. You're going to find out, and it's going to be very, very clear when you find out. So some people can hide things for a little while. They get away with it for a minute, and they really think they getting away with something, and then boom, bam, it just falls out in their lap like, whoa, what's this? Wow. And that's because it was meant to fall out. That's because you was meant to know. Hey Antoine, how you doing? Long time. It falls out because it was meant for you to know. You didn't have to look for it. You didn't have to search. You didn't have to go through phones. You didn't have to go through wallets, pockets. You didn't have to go through car, glove compartment, dashboard. You didn't have to go through drawers. You didn't have to go through none of that. It's going to present itself. And that's one reason. Oh, you had a cold. Well, I hope you're doing better. I really do. These nasty colds during this time of season, flu shots is going around, all that stuff. It's crazy. You got to take care of yourself. Take them vitamin C's too. But you have to just, you have to find a way to come out with the 100% with realness and deal with each other as respectful as you can. Good to hear that, Antoine. And you have to trust your partner until they give you reason not to trust. And when a person gives you a reason, a solid reason not to trust anymore, and you have concrete fact, I'm not talking about going by your gut. Some people say, well, my gut, I just feel some intuition, something ain't right, and something may not be right. It may be all bad. But until you got something concrete where you have seen it in the moment, where you have felt it, touched it, tasted, where it's right there, even on a video if that's what it takes. But it has to be something concrete. Until you have that, you can't go by what guts are telling you. You can't go by what some of these friends are telling you. Because sometimes they'll tell you stuff and it ain't even right. They'll make up a story. Or sometimes they'll tell you something that they saw that wasn't quite concrete, but then they'll just put their story around it and tell you, yeah, they probably doing do. And they probably been doing do. And that's why you should have left that alone. And here you got a whole nother chapter story of somebody who just wants you back out there with them because they ain't got nobody. Or they could want your somebody. Or they could be jealous of what you have and just don't want you to be happy like that. It ain't always a rosy, happy picture. I'm not saying all friends and people are like that, but there are some that you have to be watchful for that mean you no positive good in trying to concretely come up with a story about yours and there's no concrete evidence behind it. You know, it's it's sad, but it's very, very true. So don't get caught up in what people are telling you. Don't get caught up in what your gut is telling you. What your gut is telling you may be something you should pay attention to, but it's nothing concrete at that point. You just need to pay attention. Because I'm not going to say guts ain't right, because sometimes I've had some guts about stuff, and boy, I tell you, sure enough came out in the wash. Literally. So, you know, you just have to let that occur. You have to let it occur. Concretely have a situation that you can say, okay, boom, this is what's up. Boom. You don't ask them what they want to do, because they're going to probably tell you they want to still work it out and be with you. You tell them what you going to do. Because this is what you found out. This is what's happening. This is what you're going to do. And if you decide that what you're going to do is stick with the situation and forgive them, truly stick with it and forgive them. Every time you get into an argument, don't bring up the fact that, oh, yeah, just like when back 6 months ago when I found that I don't know, that condom in your car, and it was obvious back then something was going on. I should have paid attention. No, you stayed with them because you found the condom and you could have did something about that then, but you stayed with them. You're supposed to let that go, not bring it back up. So be mindful that when you do accept something and you deal with it and you stay with the person, you should let it go. It's not going to be that you're going to forget. You can't ever forget certain things. They're going to be there. They happen. But you need to forgive, let it go, move on. Because it's going to stagnate your growth as a couple if you keep throwing darts about something that occurred and you decided to stay, but every time you get in a situation, you hunting them with it. Shame on you. You either gonna trust, grow, and move on, or you gonna sit in the quicksand and beat a person up about this, and next thing you know, your relationship gonna be over. Over. So anyway, opposite sex friends, is it a go or is it a no? Let me know how you feel. Let me know your experiences. Let us know. You know, there's somebody I know that need to hear some feedback about this, because who doesn't have an opposite sex friend? Who hasn't been in a situation where they've had an opposite sex friend and they have been put in a situation to have to decide between the person they were with and that friendship? And guess what? They chose the person that they're with, got rid of the friendship, and then when them and that person broke up, the friendship was no more. It was gone. So they have two losses. How about that? Something to think about. Another topic for another day. So anyway, this is your hostess with the mostest, Donna Smith, aka Lady D. Just dropping in with you guys, letting you know what's going on with me and trying to talk about some grown folk topics. I'll be back at you tomorrow. I want you guys to have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Trick or treat, baby. Have a good time. Be safe.